everybody, I'm HMR Prisons and welcome to my Zen in 10 video series designed to get you back to your Zen in just 10 minutes. Hi everyone and welcome back to Zen in 10. Today we're going to be looking at Bakasana crow pose, the gateway pose to all of your arm balances. Crow pose is usually the arm balance that people will learn first. It seems like that great big amazing pose to a beginner, and the feeling that you get when you first actually hold crow pose is absolutely amazing. And if we learn to get crow pose right, other arm balances will just slot into place and feel a lot easier. This tends to be because we know that the arms are finally strong enough, the shoulders and the core is strong enough to support our body weight. We tend to find that center of gravity where we need to hold our body. And lastly, but most importantly, we learn that we can actually trust ourselves, which is the biggest one with these arm balances. People are scared in case they fall on their face. It doesn't happen very often, but sometimes you need to fall in order to fly. So let's get on with this together. Come onto your mat. We're going to come straight into downward facing dog. So you're going to tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and push your chest back. We're going to start by bringing the left knee to the left elbow. Lean forward, touch and hold. And then take it back. Right knee to right elbow. Lean forward as far as you can. And then take it back. One more on each side. We'll hold it for a little bit longer. See if you can lean forward a little bit further now. And then back. And then right side. Lean forward, forward, forward. And back. Bring the knees down to the ground. I'm going to stretch the wrists out. So place the back of the hand down. Lean backwards and forwards. Preparing the wrists. So the posture that the exercise that we just did helps to strengthen the hip flexors and the core, because the core is going to stabilize us in these arm balances. And actually, if you think about the placement of the knees in crow, they tend to be around just above the elbow, around the tricep. So we're now going to work on our shoulder blade protraction and retraction. So you're in tabletop position. And I want you to spread your shoulder blades apart, hollow out your chest, and you're like pushing into the floor. Then you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together like you're trying to hold a pen between them. Retract. And then protract. And retract. Protract. Notice how I'm not getting my bottom or much of my spine involved. This is purely just movement of the shoulder blades, shoulder girdle. Now I want you to protract and hold, and then lean forward as far as you can. Suck the navel in, lean forward. That leaning forward is what we want to get used to in our crow. And then back. Now coming into plank, send the legs back, protract the shoulder blades, pull lower belly in, lean forward, 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 forward. And then we're going to bend the elbows a little bit, lean forward, 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 feel that weight through the arms, and then exhale, release. Okay, we'll do that another couple of times, and then we will move on and try our crow. So come back up into your plank, lean forward, protract shoulder blades, push, 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 bend the elbows a little bit, hold, 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 lean forward, lean forward, lean forward, and release. So as you probably noticed, it feels like there's a lot of weight going through the arms. When your body is positioned correctly in crow, it doesn't feel that heavy. It feels like when you find your center of gravity, it can feel quite weightless. So tuck under your toes, and we're going to come into Malasana. We actually, if you look, this is kind of the same position as your crow, but in yogi squat. So we need to have the hips nice and open in order for you to get your knees onto the back of your arms. So feet want to be probably a little bit wider than the hips. Push your knees open with your elbows and use your glutes to help assist that as well. So you're building a bit of strength in the glutes. Lift and lengthen through the spine, and we'll sway from side to side. Okay. So now we are going to try our crow. First of all, you're going to take your hands down, shoulder width apart, okay? Not too wide, not too close. So actually check your shoulder width, place your hands down and spread out your fingers. These are your foundations. So they need to be nice and active. Then you want to lift your bottom up, and as you lift your bottom up, your knees are going to come up higher. Then you want to soften the elbows down lower, so that your knees will sit anywhere between your elbow and your armpit. The more you do this, the more you might be able to get the knees a little bit higher up, okay? Beginners tend to start with the knees a little bit further down. Come up high onto the tiptoes. This will help to lift the knees up a little bit higher. Keep looking forward. One of the things beginners like to do is to look back. It's not going to help. Keep looking forward at the top of your mat. Lean forward and place the knees onto the back of the arms. Now push into the floor, lift the chest forward but up. You're not going down towards the floor, you're actually kind of pushing upwards. Then maybe lift one foot, release it down, maybe lift another foot, place it down, and then release. And then we will have a go at the full crow. So I know it's a lot to think about straight away, but the more you practice, the easier it will be. And then you'll be able to do loads of arm balances. Okay, so hands down, fingers spread, shoulder width apart. Lift your bottom up, come up onto the tiptoes, bend the elbows back. The elbows want to be bent a little bit. Lean onto the back of your arms, look forward, lift the chest, keep pushing into the floor, and maybe lift the feet up away from the floor. Keep protracting through your shoulder blades, pushing into the floor, and lift your toes up towards your bottom, pointing your feet. And then exhale, release. So the thing I've noticed with people is they don't want to lean forward, so they end up always falling back, or they jump into it. You want to take it slowly. You want to just lean into it. The more you lean, the more you lean, the more you lean, the less weight will be in the toes, and they'll just flick up away from the floor. Okay? You don't need to jump into it. And don't be scared to keep leaning forward. You could always put a pillow there if you're scared, but remember, we all fall before we learn to fly, and it's just one of the part of the learning process. So don't be scared, trust yourself, and go fly. Namaste.